Good morning, Yorktown. It's Supervisor Matt Slater coming to you live once again from the town boardroom here at Town Hall. I'm going to take off my mask here just as another reminder, masks work. I am joined on Zoom by Councilman Ed Lachterman, Councilman Tom Diana, our town clerk, Diana Quast. We send our best wishes to Councilwoman Alice Roker, who I spoke to earlier today. And we are awaiting Councilman Patel to call in. He just picked up his 2021 tentative budget. This is a presentation of the proposed budget for 2021. I want to begin by recognizing our comptroller, Pat Caparel, who's with us here, and the entire finance department, who's in the very back of the room. Thank you all so much for what you do for this for the town. It really is incredible. They all worked through the pandemic. And as you will see, they kept our finances intact despite incredible challenges and pressure. So again, thank you so much to all of you for what you've done. And I see that we're joined by our Highway Superintendent, Dave Paganelli. It's great to see you there, Dave.
Great to see you. Thank you.
I also want to thank Robin Steinberg, also here in the back, and Tom C. Angela for their technical assistance, not only making sure that this presentation happens, but for their incredible efforts during our many, many community COVID updates. So thank you both so much for all you've done. State law requires the supervisor of the town to submit a tentative budget to the town board and the public by October 30th of each fiscal year. The town board will now meet with department heads on November 9th and 10th, after which it will adopt a preliminary budget. There will be a public hearing on that preliminary budget on December 1st. Based on those comments, the town board may make additional alterations and vote to pass the final budget no later than the 22nd of December. And I apologize, I'm going to share my screen here so that we can... I should have started with this. Share my screen so that we can see budget presentation. Hold on 1 second. And again, my apologies. We should have started with this. Save. Okay, so this should. And Tom, I think we just lost the tape there. Live TV, you never know what you get. All right.
There it goes.
Everyone can see that?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tom. So again, this budget will take effect on January 1st of 2021. We all know that 2020 has been the year of COVID. The virus has not been defeated, and we have to fight the fatigue in order to properly protect ourselves, our loved ones, and our neighbors. That's perfect. As we've said before, and I've said it 1,000 times, and I showed you earlier, it all starts with wearing a mask. And we heard just Friday from the Westchester County Health Commissioner, Dr. Shalita Amler, on the importance of mask wearing. Make no mistake, this community has been through hell. We've lost loved ones to this virus, we've lost businesses, and for many, a sense of normalcy. We did not back down, but we led from the front. With my fellow town board members and other elected officials, we provided united leadership for Yorktown, which, as I've said many times during this ordeal, really should stand as a model for government on all levels because of our level of cooperation. To overcome the challenges facing our town, we must grow our local economy. We brought together and government leaders to form the Reboot Yorktown Task Force. This allowed direct input from those most impacted as our economy and really our society was shut down to prevent the spread of this terrible virus. Thanks to our collaborative approach, we were able to provide a helping hand to many of our Main Street businesses. In fact, we were recognized as the regional model by Westchester Magazine for our forward-thinking approach for outdoor dining and sidewalk cafes. But many businesses are still struggling. Many are still closed, and we all know the cost of owning and doing business remains among the highest in the nation. The affordability issues our homeowners and businesses face are serious, but I think it's important to understand the impact the town budget has on the school district you live in. The budget, which includes town taxes, your water bill, your garbage pickup, and EMS, consists of roughly 15% of your total bill. Think of it as for every dollar you spend on taxes, only 15 cents go to support the town and all that entails, including our town services, our town roads, our town water, and programmatic enhancements we strive to offer. But despite all the hardships of 2020 and all the hardships that 2020 has produced, we still found a way to make significant accomplishments for our residents. Mohegan Avenue retaining wall was completed ahead of time and on budget. Our highway superintendent, Dave Paganelli, expelled an incredible amount of energy and time to improve this critical piece of infrastructure. The inflow and infiltration study for the Peekskill Sewer District was completed. This puts us a step closer to complying with the state mandated order that was signed in 2019. Our sewer situation is a significant concern as we look ahead to Yorktown's future. Both Halleck's Mill and Peekskill will need significant improvements to achieve their individual goals. And those improvements come with a cost. Lastly, after 30 years, we finally enhanced our commercial water meter program to ensure commercial property owners are paying their fair share for water usage. We heard from our water superintendent earlier this month that COVID has delayed its full implementation, but we are moving it forward in a fair and empathetic way. Economic development is going to be critical for the future viability of Yorktown. We must continue to grow our town's economy and expand our tax base to ease the burden on local property taxpayers. There are still many questions and variables about our economic future as a state, as a county, and as a community. I believe, without a shadow of doubt, that in order for us to survive, we will need to grow our way out of the COVID hole, and we took strong steps in that direction already this year. Government on all levels relies on revenue to operate. Until the federal government provides the necessary relief package, we have to get creative on how we're going to generate revenue to maintain the strong direction we are heading in. Failure to do so will put the burden on local taxpayers. Just this weekend, I heard from residents facing unemployment related to COVID. People are scared. They're scared of the uncertainties that may exist and which we will not know until the dust really settles. Continuing to have a strong economic development focus will offer a layer of protection to local homeowners and local taxpayers. We've been recognized for our commitment and policies geared toward achieving the type of smart growth that our community needs. Just last week, the town board closed the hearing on overlay districts, and we were eagerly awaiting the announcement of that new specialty grocer on Route 202 near Lowe's. Part of our ability to grow is proving our willingness to innovate. In 2020, an active and modern website is the first step to that type of success. Our revamped town website is proving to be a critical tool every single day. It's enabling the town to provide communication and information at an unprecedented level. Equally as important, when prospective residents and businesses want to learn about Yorktown, especially in the 21st century, they jump on the town's website. And we are finally making a good first impression. Our Destination Y campaign has also been revolutionary and another regionally recognized initiative. This is a product of the Reboot Yorktown Task Force, and the Destination Y campaign is a proactive attempt to catalyze on the migration into suburbs by New York City-based businesses and residents. When it comes to the environment, few municipalities can match our pace of accomplishments. I grew up in this town, and I know Yorktown is a community focused on balance. With so much focus on growing our way out of the COVID peril, the town board has clearly recognized the need to protect our environment, to embrace science, and become a regional leader on climate change. Many of the initiatives, such as the NYSEG LED streetlight program, which again wouldn't have happened without our highway superintendent, Dave Paganelli, serve a dual purpose of reducing our carbon footprint and saving critical dollars. Just last week, the town board approved the town entering into a community choice aggregation program through Sustainable Westchester. This means 73% of our town facility energy costs will be offset by energy produced by solar power. Not only does this have incredible environmental impacts, but will save the town nearly $23,000 annually on our energy costs. I'm especially proud of our labor force. From the top down, our employees have continued to serve the residents of Yorktown with prideful purpose throughout this pandemic. Again, we received regional recognition for the safety procedures and protocols that were put into place to protect the health of our coworkers. Record contracts were reached with both the CSEA and Yorktown PBA, which extend 5 years. Both contracts expired at the end of 2019, and the agreements that are now in place are fair for the town and fair for our employees. Social justice has also been a focus this year following the murder of George Floyd. We continue to work towards full compliance of Executive Order 203, which was handed down by New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo, and that includes the formation of the Yorktown Coalition on Community Safety and Engagement. Beyond that, our police department has initiated incredible partnerships to provide direct support to those struggling with addiction through Hope Not Handcuffs. And just last week, we announced a new partnership with Hope Store by implementing their high-risk reduction program to assist domestic violence victims and their families. The town's new employee assistance program will include diversity training for our entire workforce that begins next month. So as you can see, through great leadership by this town, we have made sure 2020 has not been a lost year. In fact, we've put Yorktown in a position to build off of the many successes that we've achieved. Back to the budget. Last year, town's approved budget included a 2% tax increase for residents with town water and sewer. Homeowners without town utilities had an increase of 0.5%. When COVID hit, the budgets went out the window. We declared a state of emergency, we froze all non-essential spending, and we braced for financial impact. The revenue hit currently stands at a projected $5.5 million, which is pieced together through several categories. As we saw with our town pool, despite the revenue loss, the town board believed it was critical to maintain key services and amenities. With residents on lockdown, summer vacations delayed or canceled, there was an obvious need to provide some recreational relief during those hot summer days. My office has heard from many residents who are so thankful for the ability to utilize the town pool at Shrub Oak Park this summer. Our Parks and Recreation staff were able to provide a COVID-safe option for residents to enjoy, and thanks to their incredible efforts, we were able to remain open when other municipal pools were closing due to COVID exposures. As I said, we braced for impact, but we've mitigated the damage. Much credit again goes to our comptroller, Pat Caparel, and our entire finance team. We kept seeing headlines of layoffs, of furloughs, of service cuts in other municipalities, but we avoided all of that right here in Yorktown. And good news is now we can begin looking forward to 2021. Thanks to our ability to manage this unprecedented time, we are proposing a budget that cuts property taxes by 0.5%. This will protect homeowners and taxpayers, and it's key to our plan to grow our town out of the economic crisis that we are facing. This reduction in taxes applies to property owners with utilities and without utilities. But I have to say, this really wasn't an easy task to achieve. This budget was ready to roll out several weeks ago. And then we had $420,000 in state aid clawed back in less than a month. This caused us to go through line by line to cover the losses without passing it on to local taxpayers. Our revenue remains mostly the same as the year prior. As you can see, more than half of the $60 million in revenue comes from local taxpayers, property owners. We were concerned in April about tax payments, and we worked with the county, our county executive, George Latimer, and the state to provide deadline extensions with minimal penalties. Interestingly enough, though, our revenue received from taxpayers, it didn't significantly falter. Changes in our expenditures, as you can see, there are a few. Of course, the equipment line is something that we've taken a hard look at. I also want to point out a decrease in part-time salaries. The other item we're keeping a close eye on is state funding for our local roads. We are committed to supplying Superintendent Paganelli with enough funds to continue his 5 miles of paving each year, but we're being very conservative of how much help we will get from the state. To offset the projected losses of CHIPS and winter recovery, we will increase our local investment by $50,000. I also want to point out that as you can see here, we are increasing the funding for our water department to begin and actually commence their cement relining of our aged water mains that are here in the town of Yorktown. And lastly, I just want to say that I've learned so much this year through some unforgettable trials and tribulations. Many sleepless nights and days of uncertainty, but we persevered. This town has shown incredible toughness, incredible resolve, and a willingness to help each other. I've described it as the Yorktown way, and it's simply inspiring. Looking forward to 2021, I'm rejuvenated by the incredible potential I see for our community, for the town of Yorktown. We have to learn from this year, but there's so much that we can build on and build on the many successes that we have already achieved despite the challenges of this unprecedented year. And that concludes the budget presentation of the tentative budget for 2021. Copies are available here in the town clerk's office. It was handed in and checked in by our town clerk. We will presentation on the town website for people to go through. And of course, we'll post the tentative 2021 budget on the town website as well. And with that, I do want to thank again, we have our town councilman, Ed Lackerman, Tom Diana, our town clerk, and our highway superintendent for joining us. I want to thank the town of Yorktown just for, again, just being a phenomenal model on so many different levels for the rest of the country and the state to embrace. And again, I want to thank our finance team. I want to thank our comptroller, Pat Caparel, for their tireless efforts in making sure that we mitigated the financial impact that we were expecting from COVID-19. And it was no easy task. Let me tell you, no easy task. And with that, we will officially begin the budgetary process for the town of Yorktown so we can approve a budget for 2021. Again, I want to thank the town. I want to thank the public. And as always, we'll continue to provide updated information, whether about the budget or COVID, as it becomes verified. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much, everyone.